Good morning, New Prague area community, and welcome to our fourth episode of Supt Talk. This will be our fourth and final episode of Supt Talk for the 2014 school year. We hope that you have enjoyed our programs as much as we have enjoyed bringing them to you. Good morning, Mr. Dittberner.
Good morning.
As we begin today's episode of Supt Talk, I was looking through the school website a little bit, and I saw a couple articles. One of them was a school calendar for next year, Mr. Dittberner, 2015-2016. Can you tell our viewers, as a superintendent, how that calendar is built and really what goes into it?
Yeah. Well, this one was a little bit different this year because we have construction projects scheduled for the spring or late spring, early summer of 2016. So with that, by state law, if we have a construction project of $400,000 or greater, we can start school earlier. And so we started with a survey that went out to all parents and staff, talking about that possibility about starting a week earlier, and got feedback there. So with our calendar for next year, it's going to start August 31st. But we also surveyed all staff. We had over 300 respondents. Put together 2 surveys, both starting August 31st, a week before school, and ending either May 26th or June 2nd. And got feedback there. But probably our greatest concern, and the feedback we got, people were overwhelming support to end on May 26th, still having 5-day break wrapped around Easter. But there's concern about being able to finish our construction project in the summer. So getting out May 26th was of prime importance, too. That's the reason why we're starting early. So the calendar is up on the website. Like I said, we start August 31st. We end May 26th. There's a 5-day break around Easter. Our conferences for elementary and secondary have been pushed back to November. There was a number of people that felt that in elementary having a full week off after only being in school 4 or 5 weeks probably wasn't good for learning. But we have that 2-day break in October, Thursday and Friday. And there's a week and a half, a little over a week and a half break for Christmas, or the holiday season, I should say. And I think it's a pretty good calendar, and not going to get everyone to like every calendar that we do. It's sort of like closing schools for bad weather. We're never going to be 100% right, but I think it's good for student learning, and like I said, it accommodates what we need to do for construction.
Well, it sounds like a lot of work and effort was put into it, not only by your office, but also by surveying of a lot of the stakeholders, too. Another thing I saw, Mr. Dittberner, on the website was something called Hour of Code Challenge during National Computer Science Education Week. 150 middle school students participated in this. Can you tell us what that is about?
Yeah, it's basically coding is a part of computer programming, and that's for our technology classes at the middle school. That's become a bigger thing, not just in our state but nationwide, is getting kids to learn coding skills. And obviously, in the informational age that we're in right now, those are skills that we think are important for kids to learn as they move through education here and then with future careers. So there's a big promotion nationwide for schools to partake in that. And like it says, the article on our website, we had 150 kids in our computer classes do that. So we teach programming or coding skills in our middle school curriculum.
Wonderful. Okay, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the fourth episode of Supt Talk. To my left here, you will see our activities director, Mr. Brad Skogerboe, and student athlete activities, Benjamin Buthe. So, welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
We would like to welcome Mr. Skogerboe, and we've got some questions for him as the fall activities season has come to a close and the winter has begun. Mr. Skogerboe, please tell us a little bit about yourself and your position here at the school.
Okay, well, this is my 11th year as activities administrator, 7 of which here at New Prague. It's been a great move for my family and I coming here to New Prague. Love the tradition, love the pride that we have in activities here at New Prague, and looking forward to many years to come.
Wonderful.
All right, the fall season we just had here ended about a month ago. Why don't you talk about the number of sports, activities, clubs, everything that goes on in the fall, and how many participants we had?
Well, we had about 300 or over 300 participants in the fall, our fall activities. We offer things such as cross country, both male and female, soccer, boys and girls, football, volleyball, swimming, and diving for girls, and cheerleading. We have equestrian club. We have all sorts of clubs like that we have a lot of people involved with. And we have a huge National Honor Society, student council. So we have plenty of opportunities here at New Prague High School to get involved.
That's awesome. Well, now that winter activities have began, why don't you give us an update where we're at with the winter sports and the winter activities?
Well, we have large numbers of participants. We've had in both basketballs, we're off to a good start. Both hockeys, we're off to a good start. Gymnastics, we're doing well as well. Dance team, which is only the second year we've sponsored a dance team, and the girls are performing very well. The other night they placed third in a conference meet, so they're doing well. We also offer adaptive floor hockey, cheerleading as well. It was just 2 Thursdays ago, I think, where we were undefeated on the night. Where both hockeys, both basketballs, gymnastics, wrestling, everybody won, and it was a great night. And we had some tough opponents that night as well. So the kids are performing very well, and I'm very proud of the efforts of the coaches as well.
Yeah, and I think we had, if I remember right, wasn't it last week at one point? And I don't think this is the first time it's happened, because a few years ago, the same thing, but we had 5 of our teams ranked in the top 10 in the state. We had girls basketball, both boys and girls hockey, wrestling, and gymnastics, all ranked in the top 10 in the state. So that's pretty neat. And we just got done also with the musical a couple weekends ago.
Yeah, the kids did an outstanding job with the musical. State Fair, and it's it's one of my favorites of all time, and I think they did an outstanding job. We have a lot of talented kids here at not just athletically, but also in the fine arts here at New Prague.
Yeah, we want, obviously you want to attain excellence, but participation is important. Do you have a goal for participation?
I'd love to get to the point. We've always been in the mid to high 60s. If we could get to above 70, I don't think there's many schools our size that can boast about having over 70% of their student body involved in either athletics and or fine arts.
What part of your job as activities administrator do you enjoy the most?
Well, I think it's 2 things. When I'm sitting in my office, I love the scheduling piece. I love to try to make things work, try to put together fun events for our kids in our communities, where we have multiple events going on at once. Next Tuesday we have boys basketball in the main gym, girls basketball in the auxiliary gym. We have boys hockey. We have gymnastics. We have 4 events going on. Those are fun nights for our kids. And the second thing is I just love watching kids compete and perform. And it's fun to show them that I support them, and that what they're doing is worthwhile. And I think they do a great job of making the people of New Prague proud.
All right, great. Well, let's get Ben here. Ben, why don't you talk about what you're involved in with athletics and also activities here at New Prague High School?
Yeah, I'm a 3-sport athlete. I play football, basketball, and baseball. I'm in choir, and I'm in National Honor Society.
Okay. And what's the hardest part about, you're involved in 5 different activities here at school, and you got a full load of classes. Is that a challenge?
Yes, it is. It's very time-consuming. I have to plan ahead of activities that I have, sports and choir. So, yeah, it's very time-consuming, as I said before. But yeah,
You're enjoying your senior year here. I mean, time flies. You're enjoying it. Why don't you look back at the football season and talk about that?
Yeah, football was probably one of the funnest seasons I've ever had. Playing on the turf, it was the most fun I've ever had playing football. Performed better, and it was just a great sight to look at and play on.
Okay. And then why don't you talk about last spring, baseball. You guys had a great run in baseball.
Yeah, we finished, we lost in the section finals to Eden Prairie, but great year, 20-4, a lot of walk-off games where we won bottom of the 7th inning or extra innings, so a lot of good times there, good memories.
How about advice to younger kids, middle school kids, elementary kids? Any advice as you look back, as you're going through your career, any advice you'd give to a younger athlete?
I'd say get involved with as much as activities as you can, because you never know what you want to do in life. It might change, so get involved with different groups of people, different activities, and then you'll find what you want to do after high school or in college.
All right, great.
I'd like to ask one question to Ben. So a person that is involved, Ben, with as much as you are, it goes from very early in the morning, sometimes before school, all the way through the evening. Kind of like Mr. Dittberner said, maybe even some advice to our younger athletes out there and people involved in fine arts. How does a person as busy as you stay healthy, kind of for the long duration? Because it's not only the school year that athletes and our activities in fine arts go, but it's also the summertime. How do you keep yourself healthy, both physically but also mentally, and keeping healthy?
Well, for the school year, I make sure I get good sleep at night. I plan ahead, like if I have a game at night, I try to do homework the night before so I don't have to stay up late after the game. And I also, for school, I have a study hall, so if I don't get homework done at night, I come in the next day, and fourth hour I do my homework during study hall. In the summertime, I don't know, I keep practicing my sports, but
How about plan? What's your plans now when you get done here in high school here? You don't have any more years of eligibility, right?
Yeah.
Put redshirted.
I don't really know yet. I'm thinking about playing football in college. I don't know where. I want to get involved with some in math, actuary science, or statistics, accounting, maybe even a math teacher. I like working with kids too, so kind of thought about that. But yeah, football is what I'm thinking about right now. I'm still deciding.
All right, well, great. Well, wish you the best rest of your senior year. You've been a great student athlete, involved in the fine arts, like you said, with choir, National Honor Society, and as a straight A student, so a lot to be proud of. And Brad, we thank you too.
Thanks for having me.
We've got a great activities program, a lot to be proud of.
We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back, everyone, to the fourth episode of Supt Talk. And our second guests here are Mr. Dave Giesen, the principal at Falcon Ridge Elementary. Good morning, Mr. Giesen.
Good morning.
We would first ask Mr. Giesen to tell us a little bit about himself and his principalship at Falcon Ridge Elementary, and then also introduce the two students that he brought with him today.
All right, thank you. My name again is Dave Giesen. I'm the principal at Falcon Ridge. This is my fourth year at Falcon Ridge as principal. I have brought with me two fifth grade students, Abby Wagner right here.
Hi.
And Dylan Wagner, fifth grade student also at Falcon Ridge.
Hello.
All right.
Well, we're going to talk about, one of the things we want to talk about at Falcon Ridge Elementary School is your PBIS program, which stands for Positive Behavioral Intervention System. Sounds important. Why don't you tell our guests exactly what that is and how it works within your school?
Right. PBIS is something that is it's endorsed by MD, the Minnesota Department of Education, and we kind of started our PBIS journey 3 years ago, and the whole rationale or reason behind it is that we want to create a common set of expectations for all of our kids and staff, and provide a way that we can teach those expectations, to model those expectations, and to revisit them, and use data to show that we are on the right track to, again, following those expectations, or do we need to change our course. The goal, of course, is to create a safe and supportive learning environment and create a way that all kids are welcome at Falcon Ridge and are supported in their learning.
So you said you implemented this program, PBIS, 3 years ago. What impact have you seen? You talked about data, both anecdotal and just some hard data. What have you seen? What impact have you seen after implementing this program?
We do track the data, and it's interesting to see month by month, maybe different locations where we feel like we're doing a good job, and then some areas that we need to work on as well. There was a conversation that I had with Dylan and Evie as we crossed the street here, and one thing that we believe, and I think the data does support this, we feel like we do have an environment where, again, kids feel safe, but they're supported in their learning, and there shouldn't be any question about, again, what we consider to be a safe learning environment and how we treat each other.
Okay. Why don't you hand it over to Evie, and I'll ask her, why don't you talk about, first of all, Evie, why don't you talk about your family, parents, brother, sister, what do you have in your family? And I'll ask you a couple questions there.
Okay. So my mom, she works at the middle school.
The teacher, Julie, right?
Julie Wagner. And my dad, he works at Kent. His name is Brett Wagner. And my brother is here at the high school, and he's in my grade. His name is Nick Wagner.
And where do you live?
We live, well, basically at the haunted house.
Oh, yeah, they have the haunted house in New Prague.
Yeah. So,
Is it really haunted?
no.
No, just during Halloween, right?
Yeah.
All right. What do you like best about PBIS at Falcon Ridge Elementary?
Well, basically it's like, well, I like the gym activities that we have. They're really fun. And also the computer lab and the media center. I like that too. It's really fun because you get to play like games and search books on there. And I also like our rules, like respect, effort, attitude, and pride. And it kind of helps kids like be nice to each other. And yeah.
All right. Well, good. Why don't you pass over to Dylan? And Dylan, why don't you talk about? Why don't you introduce? Talk about your family and where you live.
Okay. So my mom works up in Minneapolis and works at Tenna, and my dad actually owns the New Prague Dairy Queen here in New Prague. And I have one brother named Blake, and he's at Falcon Ridge.
Okay. And where do you live?
Elko New Market.
Okay, Elko New Market. All right, great. So what do you like best about PBIS, the program you've been?
I like that a lot of the kids are really nice at Falcon Ridge, and all the fun activities in gym, like roller skating, hockey and pin guard, and media lab, all the fun activities we do on the computer, and a lot.
So do you think it helps behavior with kids, and what do you see?
I see, well, when someone's just not getting along, the teachers always say, show your REAP, and then they'll kind of get along again, because they know what it stands for. Then they'll say, yeah, I'm sorry, and all of that.
Okay.
I have a question, Mr. Dittberner. Is there something, either Dylan or Evie can answer this, are there tickets? Does your name get thrown in a drawing of something? Can you explain that a little bit, Dylan, please?
Yeah, so if you're doing something nice at Falcon Ridge, they'll give you a Trojan ticket, and on Friday, they'll draw 2 names from each grade, and if you get picked, you get to come on down to the office and pick a prize.
Okay, well, good. Well, you're 5th grade now. You guys thinking about middle school, looking forward to that, and enjoying your 5th grade year at Falcon Ridge?
Yeah.
All right, well, good. All right, Mr. Giesen. So the main thing with PBIS, you're focusing on positive behaviors rather than always reacting negatively or negative situations. Not saying that you're going to have to respond and hold people accountable with things, but the focus is on positive, and you really focus on the positive, and you're proactive there and have good relationships. That takes care of a lot of things.
Right. We really focus a lot on being proactive. As you mentioned, it's being positive, but it's also realizing that we don't want to be reactive if we don't have to. We spend the first 6 weeks of the school year really, again, emphasizing the expectations that we have for our kids, even having conversations as staff, again, what it is that we're looking for from our kids. We're very specific and intentional about those expectations. And we also realize that, again, with the break coming up here, the holiday break, that our kids are going to be out of the building for 2 full weeks. We know that routines can change and patterns can change, and kids sometimes forget. And so we're going to spend some time the first couple of weeks right after the break, again, reteaching, remodeling those expectations, and we really put a great deal of emphasis even on our playground and our lunchroom, which can be a busy, kind of a chaotic place. Kids are excited to have a break from the day. But we also know that the winter time, that first week back, is a good time to revisit those expectations out there. And we take a full day where our specialist teachers really focus their time with those grade levels in talking about, again, the expectations that we have in the lunchroom, on the playground, and again, ensuring a safe environment for everyone.
Mr. Giesen, you talk about the lunchroom and the playground. Is it just the teaching staff that kind of works with the PBIS, or is it all of the staff within Falcon Ridge Elementary?
Great question. I should say also we've got a core team of 8 individuals who work together. We meet once a month. We do look at our behavior data. We talk about how things are going within the building. And that's a pretty diverse group of people. So we do have a paraprofessional who works in the lunchroom, on the playground, as part of that committee. We've got our specialist teachers. We've got classroom teachers, both primary and intermediate. We have our school social worker. We have a school psychologist. So occupational therapists. We have a wide cross-section of people who really get to see kids in different environments. And we think that again, helps to support a safe environment and helps support learning at Falcon Ridge.
Awesome. Well, Abby, we got plans. We got finishing out the week strong here, right? And then we're off for 2 weeks, the holiday break here. Do you have any plans? Any your family doing?
Well, we're probably going to go to my grandma's and have Christmas there. And we're probably just going to hang out at home.
Well, good. Enjoy that. How about you, Dylan?
I'm going to my grandma and grandpa's, and probably just going to stay at home and play in the snow, if we get any.
That's all good. Well, I just want to thank you guys for coming in. These are 2 model students that we have at Falcon Ridge. We're very proud of the students in all of our buildings, all of our grade levels, but I think thank Mr. Giesen for bringing Abby and Dylan here today and talk about PBIS.
Thank you, Mr. Dittberner and Mr. Buthe. We're happy to be here.
Well, I'd like to thank all of you also, and for our 2 students, we have this nice little bag for you to take home, and we really appreciate you coming into our show today. That concludes our 4th episode of Supt Talk today. Mr. Dittberner, you brought up the holidays. Is there anything you'd like to share your family, any special traditions, or are you going anywhere special?
Well, we'll spend Christmas here. We've got all of our 3 kids coming back from college. Actually, Sam's out of college, but back, so we'll spend time Christmas Eve and Christmas Day here, and then head to Alexandria, where my parents are from. Spend a couple days there, and then we head down to Iowa, where my wife's from, and ironically, my daughter is playing basketball in a tournament down there. St. Ben's is playing down in Wartburg, which is right near James' brother's house, where we're having late Christmas celebration. And then we gear up for the big Gopher football game, New Year's Day.
Yes.
Looking forward to that.
I see we've got a Vikings fan over here also. Happy holidays to everyone in the New Prague Area School District and school community. And again, we'd like to thank you for taking part in our 4th episode of Supt Talk. We will be back in 2015 will be the next time that you see us, and that will be right in the middle of January. Thank you very much to Superintendent Dittberner, Mr. Skogerboe, and Ben Buthe today, along with Mr. Giesen and Eva Wagner and Dylan Wagner. We'd like to thank those 2 also, and that concludes our program for today.